I'm Paige Gonor, Miss Southern California All-American, and this is my interview with the Pageant Project.
Oh, okay, no intro jingle there. We'll just go live straight away. I'm a bit out of practice and there's so many things going on. Let me just make sure the live is started. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Pageant Project. My guest for today is Paige Gonor. I'll just read out her bio for you before we get started. Now, Paige Gonor is currently Miss Southern California All-American and a rising junior at the University of San Diego, studying communication with a minor in real estate. She is passionate about media, connecting with people, and using her voice to make a meaningful impact. She began competing in pageants at just 8 years old, growing up in an environment that shaped her confidence, discipline, and sense of self. Over the years, pageantry has played a huge role in helping her find her voice and step into leadership in her own way. Paige is also the founder of Turning the Paige, a platform focused on empowering the next generation of young female leaders to think different, be different, and act different so they can create change in their communities. Through school visits, mentorship, and empowerment seminars, she shares mindset tools that help young women build confidence and believe in themselves. Outside of pageantry, Paige works in luxury hospitality, where she has developed a strong foundation in high-level service and professionalism. She also has experience in runway, print, and promotional modeling. She has a passion for fitness, spending much of her time staying active or in the gym and focusing on a healthy lifestyle. As a certified Lagree instructor, she loves helping others feel strong and confident. Paige aspires to pursue a career in sports broadcasting with the goal of becoming a sideline reporter. Well, I think I got it all. Paige, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
That was a mouthful. So, first question,
Yeah,
most
sorry, was that
importantly,
too long?
you guys send me these bios, and I don't think you realize that I'm going to read them out. And then sometimes I look
Yeah,
at it and go, oh
I
my God,
know.
it's a wall of text. I can barely make it out. But first things first, you just had a birthday. So, how was it?
It's good. I'm the big 2-0 now. I got to go to Hawaii and I work in luxury hospitality. So I work at the Fairmont in San Diego. And what's really cool and part of my benefits is that I get to stay at any Fairmont in the whole entire world with a huge discount. So I got to go to the Fairmont in Hawaii, which was on my bucket list. And we got to stay there. It was an amazing experience. And I can't even get you started with the beach, the spa, the pools. It was truly so amazing, and I really had the best birthday ever.
So, you actually took time off and relaxed?
Yeah, can you believe it?
No, I can't. Photos or it
Yeah,
didn't
a
happen.
whole 7 days. A whole 7 days.
Wow, like who are you and what have you done with Paige? What does it feel any different now that your age begins with two rather than a one? I mean, no longer a teen anymore, right?
Yeah, I'm done with my teenage years. I'm in my 20s now, which is crazy to think about because I see like posts of people getting married, engaged, like
Yeah.
at my age. And I think I mean, I can't imagine that for me, but I know that that's the choice that some people do make. And I can't believe that I'm in that stage of life now where people get married, people have like their own big girl jobs, and I'm there. I made it. It's go time.
You're there, but I mean, each in their own time. I mean, there are some
Exactly.
people who are 30, 40, 50. Actually, what's scary is that some people like having their first child when they're in their mid 30s or 40s or later. And for that to even be possible,
Hmm.
that's a minor miracle. But we live in a weird world. Some people are married and have kids by the age of 20 something, and then other people still not married, not have kids by the age of 40 something.
Hmm.
Let's start with a very, very simple question. Why don't you tell the people watching how you got into the crazy world of pageantry to begin with?
Of course. So I got a little postcard in the mail at 8 years old, and it was for National American Miss. That was truly the biggest blessing in disguise. I cannot imagine my life without it. But anyway, I was sitting at the kitchen counter, and I remember my mom bringing in the little postcard and sitting it in front of me, and I just saw the pretty girls with the crowns and the dresses on the little postcard saying, "Oh, come to our open call and see what it's all about." I don't know how they got my address, but they did. And I remember looking at it and reading it and just seeing all I just wanted to be a princess, I think. At 8 years old, of course, who doesn't? So I tell my mom, I'm like, oh my gosh, mom, we have to go to this open call. Like, we need to do this. I didn't know what a pageant was. I just wanted to be a princess. So my mom reluctantly and doesn't really want to say yes, but she does. when we drive there, we drive to the open call, we see all the girls. It is such an amazing experience. I mean, from the directors to the reigning queens to everyone that I met that got the same postcard in the mail that I did, my life changed at that second when my mom actually signed me up after she wanted to sneak into the go to the bathroom. She wanted to leave. She said, let's go to the bathroom. No, I said, no, mom, you're signing me up right now. And she did. And ever since then, I truly say that that was like the biggest and best decision that I have made in my life. And I would want every single parent to say yes to their kid when they get asked that same question.
You've got a very good memory of this, given that it was 12 years ago.
I have told this story so many times to like I've done babysitting my whole life, and when I babysit little girls, I always tell the moms, I'm like, you need to sign your kid up for National American Miss when they're a little girl. That is a life-changing experience, and I would not be the same person without it. And I think that really pageantry has made me the person I am today.
So a postcard changed your life.
Yes, believe it or not, it did. And I stand by that, and I think I would be the best salesperson for National American Miss or pageants in general if I could.
You don't still have that postcard, do you? Filed away somewhere? That'd
No,
be
I
cool if
mean,
you did. Oh, okay.
maybe she does, but I haven't seen it since I got that postcard.
Okay. So she maybe has kept it as a memento. So you literally then have really grown up in pageants. 12 years ago. So what kept you in it? That's what got you in it. You wanted to be a princess. But then
Mhm.
what actually kept you going back to pageantry, especially now you're not a teen anymore and you're still going. So what's kept you excited and passionate about pageants?
My resilience and my drive and my determination. I'm the kind of person that will not give up until they get what they want. And I think that is the biggest strength of mine. It's kind of it can get crazy. It can get crazy when you're at the gym at 4 a.m. wanting to compete in a swimsuit competition. You'll do anything it takes. But for me, starting at a very young age, I think I was born with the drive and determination. And I was very lucky because every single year, I mean, we got the pageant fever and we went back every single year, and you hear no's so many more times than you hear the yeses. That crown gets placed on your head far less times than you hear that no when you're off stage. And when I was little, I would cry on the way home and say, Mom was like, oh, we're never doing this again if you're going to act like that. And then I turned that frown upside down because I wanted to come back the following year. And just ever since then, I would work harder and harder each year. And I quickly transformed my idea of just the idea of the princess going to the pageant to be a princess to the life goals that pageants give you,
Yeah.
learning how to do interviews, meeting all these girls and and having these connections with people, learning how to talk to people in an interview room. And not a lot of 8-year-olds get an interview experience, learn how to present themselves on a stage, but I did. And I think that's also why I have a goal of being a sports broadcaster and being in front of a camera, talking and interviewing people for a living. That doesn't even feel like a job. It just feels like something for fun.
I interview people for a living. I can tell you it is fun. It
Mhm.
doesn't feel like a job. Have you decided which sport you want to be a broadcaster for?
I want to be a sideline reporter for the Padres. It's a baseball team in San Diego, if you
Thank
don't
you.
know.
No,
Yeah,
no,
just
I think
letting you know. I know you're
yes.
not from here.
No, no, I'm definitely not. I was thinking because when I'm over in America, there's a few things that I wanted to try. One was I don't know if you know about stone claw crabs, but Miss USA being in Florida, there's this thing called a stone claw crab, and I've actually been crabbing, so I wanted to try it,
Oh,
but it's not season, so I can't do it. But the other thing I was kind of thinking of doing was watching a baseball game because I've never seen one. First off,
what?
number
You need
two,
to. Yeah.
number two, I have no idea what the rules are. Like
Okay.
I can't, and the
Yeah.
only analogy I can draw is it's like cricket. If I tried to describe our game of cricket to you,
Okay.
you would probably look as confused as you describing the rules of baseball to me because there's
Hmm.
like no fly rules or something, and there's like I don't understand. So where should I
Yeah.
begin with my baseball education?
Well, you could turn on the TV. I know there's several YouTube videos that will teach you. But I just grew up playing softball. So that kind of whole game and the softball field and growing up, I literally live like 20 minutes to Petco Park where the Padres play. So
Right.
that was my childhood, just going to the game and watching it on TV with my dad and of course playing on the fields. So that's definitely the game that's closest to my heart. And
Mhm.
it would be so fun to be able to like work at Petco Park and work for the Padres.
That does sound amazing. You mentioned your resilience,
Mhm.
even at 8 years old. Where did that come from?
I don't know. Like, I think that I might have just been born with it and been lucky, but I just think that a light kind of turned on in my head when I realized that after it takes a certain amount of grit and determination and hard work to get something. As I said, I've done softball. I've been on the softball diamond since I was like 5 and stopped when I was 16. So I kind of got that teamwork, team
Yeah.
sport vibe ever since I was a little girl. And knowing that used to strike out so much when I was little. And my dad said every time you strike out, we have to go to the batting cages and you have to practice hitting for an hour every single time you strike out. And I hated it at first, but I realized the amount of practice, like the amount of time you take at your craft and working on a skill, even if you're not born with the perfect swing, that I got the best swing award. I hit home runs so often. And I hate to say that my dad was right, that I really did need those extra time in the batting cages. But I think it's just because I was little and growing up with parents who always told me that you need to work hard for what you want,
Yeah.
and I've never been scared of a challenge. I just have been doing that forever. So I don't think I can't picture my life any way else, any of not like working hard for something or giving up when you don't get it because I would not be still doing pageants or be who I am today.
It sounds like the way that you learned softball and got good at softball. I didn't realize it was the best swing award. We don't have
Yeah.
those in tennis. That's a very cool award. Sounds like the way that you learned your softball skills was the same way that I taught myself tennis, was just I was on the practice court doing it again and again and again until you got it
Mhm.
right. I'm just curious. So in the batting cages, is there like a machine that pitches at you? Like who was pitching at you, if that's the
Yeah,
right term?
there's like a little machine and it's a thing that just
The
keeps
wheel.
going.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah,
you
yeah. Okay.
plug it into the wall and then my dad stands there with the ball and I get scared and he puts it down into the thing and it shoots so and you can
Yeah,
adjust the speed. It shoots
yeah.
so far at you and you just have to pray that you can hit it back. And then if you're lucky in the batting cages, sometimes I would aim for my dad. And then if I was lucky, I would hit him. Or he would get behind the net fast enough, but just the amount of repetitions that it took and the amount of times I struck out, so we had to go to the batting cages.
Yeah.
I ended up hitting a ton of home runs, and the best thing in softball is batting third or fourth, if you didn't know, or baseball. And I was put in the third or fourth spot every single time after being at the bottom of the order for so long.
Is that position important because there might be runners on base, and so if you
Correct.
hit well, you get them right? Okay, that's
If you
interesting. I
hit a
hadn't
home
thought of
run,
that.
then everyone comes home and you get more points. You get more
Right.
runs. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I got that part. I did play. I played t-ball. I don't know if you have t-ball. That's like the like
Yeah.
beginner level where the ball doesn't move. Did you say you tried to hit your dad?
Yeah, we would hit it and then the coaches would like go behind the net so fast because I mean the pitching mound is so close to the the home plate where you're hitting
Yeah,
from, like that can go
yeah.
by so fast. And like that's why I was always scared of pitching because my dad would make me take lessons and I was not good at it. So that stopped really quickly. But I was much better at hitting. So being so close to home plate, you have to have the quickest reflexes ever to get that glove in front of you and
Right.
protect yourself.
Okay. Because I've
Yeah.
heard statistics from baseball, and I don't know if it's the same, but they were timing like how long as a batter you have to react from the moment that I think this was baseball, from the moment the ball leaves a pitcher's hand. And I was thinking about in tennis terms, because in tennis terms, professional level, someone might crank a serve at you at 150 miles an hour. And
That's
the amount of
insane.
time you have from them hitting the ball to you needing to react to it, read it, and hit it back is about half a second. And I think baseball was similar. I don't know softball, but baseball was similar, so much so that you almost had to begin the swing before the ball left the pitcher's hand. So you had to get really good at reading it, which I
Mhm.
found really, really interesting. Was softball, I mean, obviously at the beginner level, it's not coming at professional speeds, but is softball, from what you're describing, is it similar to that? You got very little reaction time.
Oh yeah, for sure. And as we got older and the girls got stronger and bigger
Coming
and
faster and
I
faster.
mean, yeah, the ball just got faster and faster and they did say that you have to start your swing before the ball
Wow.
even gets released from her hand and hope it's a strike and you're swinging in the right spot.
Did you ever get hit by a ball?
Yes, several times. Like huge welts in my like leg like from at bats. But then if
Right.
you get hit, then you get
You
to
get to,
walk to
yeah.
first
Yeah.
base. So you kind of just have to stand there and
Yeah.
take it.
I remember hearing that rule, and I thought, well, what's to stop me from just standing on the base and letting the person hit me? Because I felt like, is there any
Yeah.
rule to stop you from doing that? By the way, like purposely
No,
getting hit?
no.
Okay,
You can just I
probably.
mean, not that I know of. Maybe the rules changed the past couple years, but no,
Okay,
you can just stand there and let the ball hit you. But man, that hurts.
I would assume it hurts even more in baseball, and because the ball's coming even faster. Um, you mentioned striking out. Now, I know in tennis, for example, even the best players in the world, they might be winning 85, 90% of their matches. But in terms of point by point, the best players in the world are barely winning over 50%. Like if you win 55% of the points, you're Hall of Famer, like greatest of all
Hmm.
time. But I think what most people don't realize is that means you're losing 45% of the time. In
For
terms
sure.
of like striking out, I don't know what the percentages are, you tell me, but you step up to plate, if that's the correct terminology. Forgive me if it's not, but you
That was
step up to
great.
bat. How many times, just because we talked about resilience, right? How many times do you even make contact with the ball? Like percentage wise, is it 50%? Is it 80%? Is it 20%?
Well, it depends on just like the game. I know that like
Yeah.
at bats, I got maybe 3 at bats if lucky per game.
Right.
Like 2 at bats would probably be average. Um, I probably, after a few years of going to the batting cages and getting good,
Yeah.
I hit the ball a lot more, which was very exciting for my
Yeah.
mom and my dad who were watching, not just watching me walk back to the dugout after striking out. But I don't know. I don't know what my average was or ended up being after I stopped, but I was one of the better ones on the team after I got my hitting down, for sure.
It must teach you resilience, though, because,
Yeah.
the number of times you strike out, and then I don't know if you have a long walk back to the dugout or what, but if you just get up there, you strike out, then you have to walk back. That's not a
Oh,
very nice
that's
walk to be having, right?
no. That's not a good walk, and especially when your dad is like one of the coaches and like standing there staring at you, walk back to the
Right.
dugout. You're like, "Oh, this will be a fun ride home."
So what there's this term about, pageant parents or dance mums and tennis
Mhm.
mums, and it's normally not said in a very good tone. What's it like to have your dad as one of your coaches? Is that a good thing? Is it a bad? I mean, you were trying to hit him, so I don't know. Maybe you've answered the
No,
question.
he's gonna be watching this and be like, "Paige."
But what's it like when you have a parent or a dad as a coach? Is that a good thing, a bad thing, a challenging thing?
I think it was great. I mean, having a dad who was like literally by your side and who would stand next to you in the circle, getting ready to go up to bat, giving you a pep talk. I mean, I've had times where my dad wasn't my coach and was in like standing on the bleachers and watching me. And it's
Yeah,
just, I mean, it's not the same, but I mean,
yeah,
all of my other friends' dads that were coaching, they were like my dads too. We were such like a tight-knit family. But having my dad as my coach and growing up with that kind of support where my dad was helping me achieve my goals. And I even got times where my sister, she's 2.5 years younger than me, she was on the same team as me sometimes too when I
yeah.
was like the oldest and she was the youngest and my dad would get to coach and that I mean is a whole other family dynamic. I mean, when my sister is on the team with me, my dad is trying to tell us what to do. She or I don't really get to like being told what to do. But I mean, just having
Mhm.
that, my dad would say, "Oh, if you hit a home run, we can get a Slurpee. But if you strike out, we have to go to the batting cages." So that was kind of our little rule. So we'd be like, "Oh,
Right,
Daddy, you owe us 2 Slurpees." So that I mean, it was always fun. We'd have little things that we got to say with him, and he would always
right,
want the best for us.
right. So the secret to becoming a great softball player is bribery, by
Rewards.
the sounds of
Yeah,
it.
for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
rewards, bribery. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I. What would happen? Silly question. What will happen if one of you, hits a good shot, gets a home run, and the other one strikes out? Does the person who struck out have to go batting practice, and the person who hit the home run get a Slurpee?
It's kind of like we both get a Slurpee and then we both have to go to the batting cages. Because
Okay,
if I got a home run and my sister would get the Slurpee too. My dad would feel bad. But then if she has to go to the batting cages, I would
okay.
too, because that's just how it works around here in this house.
Who's the better softball player out of you and your sister?
She's I know she'd agree it was me.
Okay.
But yeah, she would tell you that too.
All right. To be fair, name one thing that your sister is better than you at?
Hmm. I don't
There is
know.
something. Yeah,
Not
come
really
on,
sure
really?
about that one.
All right. Well, Presley, if you're watching, feel free to comment underneath one thing that you're better than Paige at, so you can get your own back.
I'll be
Does your dad
quiet
know
for a
anything
while.
about pageants?
My dad? Oh yeah. He's
Yeah.
fully into it too. Like he loves it. And since we were little, we got on in our formal wear competition with the
Yeah.
gowns. Our dads would get to walk us on stage. So
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
he would be with us
Yeah.
backstage and we would have that little daughter father moment of being on stage together, and he would get more nervous than I would be, and I would have to start calming him down before we went on because he was like, "Oh
Okay.
my gosh, I'm so scared." But we told him, I said, "You have Presley, my sister and I. Like you get
Yeah.
2 practice rounds. Like you should be." I told him, I said, "Presley's
Yeah.
first, and then you should be good by the time it comes to me." And then he would be nervous. We would play like a G6 before we went on
Yeah.
stage. You know that song?
Yes.
Yeah, we would play that before going on stage, to loosen up, to get our mindset ready, and of course, like do little handshakes and give a little prayer and a pep talk, and then we'd be ready. But we do have some great memories together backstage before going on.
Why was he getting nervous? It wasn't like he was competing.
But he would have to go on stage too. And then ever since now
What?
that I'm
Okay.
old enough, he doesn't do the walk with me anymore.
Yeah.
So he likes watching from the crowd a lot more, I can tell. But when there's competitions, like speaking competitions or that kind of stuff, he gets really into it and really loves that. And practicing at home, he loves to be one of my judges and he likes to sit there and give me critiques. And now I
Yeah.
feel like he could be a great judge. So if there's any
Yep.
pageant systems out there and
Looking for
directors that are
judges.
looking for judges, my dad is really great and he'd love to judge.
Tell me more about the All American system. So, my understanding is that it is a newer system,
Mhm.
but tell me more about it.
Yeah, so did Miss All American last year, the first year that it was brought back, and that was I didn't really know what to expect. I was like one of 2 girls from the West Coast going all the way to the
Okay.
East Coast, which
Right.
was crazy. And there, I was with all the other girls. They got a lot of people for the first pageant, and I was so surprised how well they did it. I mean, Paula and everyone was so supportive, and it felt like nothing that I've ever experienced before being there. So, I mean, the whole thing was so perfectly run and I had the best time ever and felt like everyone was there for me, of the directors and Tim as well, who was the host of the show. And then afterwards, after the pageant was done, I placed fourth runner up in the Miss All American Teen category. And then I signed up immediately after the pageant and started preparing for this year. So, yeah, it's here in less than 2 months now, and I am so excited. This is definitely like one of my favorite systems by far. I had such a great time last year, and I'm so excited to see what this year brings.
What has it been like? So, last year you said you came fourth runner up, which is
Mhm.
a great performance. In the teen division, what's it been like moving up to the Miss division? For some people, it's a huge jump. For other people, frankly, it's like Miss is where they always belonged. Where do you fit on that spectrum?
I definitely think it was a little bit of a big jump for me. I mean, you call me a grandma, you call me like an old soul sort of
I
thing.
don't
So
call you a grandma. To
you
be clear,
do
you
call
call
me
yourself a grandma. You called
you
yourself a grandma.
when you texted me happy birthday, you're like to the youngest grandma I know. So,
Yeah.
but I always feel like I've had kind of a mature vibe to me. So that aspect of going into Miss, I think, was a very smooth transition. But however, I wanted to kind of rebrand myself and rebrand my platform. So I completely revamped it and changed it to I had it before. It was called Paige's Positivity Project, and I changed it now. It's called Turning the Page. And it's this whole idea of how my life has changed and how I've turned the page in my own life. It kind of started as a joke, but now it's actually called Turning the Page, where I empower the next generation of young female leaders to, if they don't like how their path that they're in or their environment, that they can change their life that they are in and not be afraid of everyone else and what they're thinking. That if they use my ultimate success formula of thinking different plus acting different equals being different, then their life will totally change. And I promise you that.
Do you feel, I mean, Paige's Positivity Project sounds more teen, like a teen
Hmm.
platform. And I think it's perfectly
Correct.
appropriate for a teen division contestant. You going into your first year as a Miss contestant, you rebranded. Can you give us some idea as to how you feel your life has changed over the last year since competing? Because going from 19 to 20, at least here in Australia, there's so much changing because maybe you're in university, you're in college, first year, second year, all this other stuff happening, and life can sometimes feel like it's a whirlwind. And in 1 year, it can feel like you've aged 20, 30, 40 years. What has your life been like since stepping on this stage last time?
Mhm. So, after stepping off the stage after last year's competition and beginning my sophomore year of college, I quickly realized after basically my whole entire teenage years and my freshman year as well, I realized that I didn't fit into the social norm or the expectations that people place on you. And after realizing that, I mean, I had this huge realization just this past year that I'm not meant to do what people do what people want you to do.
Yeah.
Trying to please people. I know I always say if you're not a leader, you're a pleaser. And I say that we say that to each other. Yeah. And I think that when you begin to realize that, and I started to rewire my brain and to start living on a path where I'm living for myself and not living for other people and living to please them. Because at the end of the day, like I want to be on this path that line with my vision for my future, aligned with my values. And I know that now stepping into this path where I'm not trying to fit into some sorority that didn't align with my values, but I am truly on my own path. I found out that I love waking up at 4 a.m. and going to the gym. I I love like trying new things. I love working. I love my job. Not a lot of people can say that. And I think that I find so much joy in not what a lot of people do in college. And after finding that out, I truly think that like my life has changed, and I just want that's part of my platform is telling people and empowering them to take
Yeah.
that step to be the 1% that actually makes that change, that's not afraid to just sit back and take the easy way out, but to really decide to take your teenage years, take my new being 20. I want to be able to start my life now and be on that journey where I am way ahead of the game and way ahead of the crowd. And after this past year, taking that step forward and taking that step out of the social norm, trying to fit in, I know that I am on that path for success.
Was that a sudden realization that you came to that you weren't going to fit or you no longer wanted to fit in the societal norm? Because for a lot of people, not just girls, but boys as well, young boys, the biggest thing is fitting in. They want to join
Mhm.
the clique, they want to join the sorority, the fraternity, whatever it is.
Of
And,
course.
having friends and being the popular kid
Oh,
is, at
yeah.
least from what I've learned from American TV, it's like the
Mhm.
biggest thing in school. It's like, who's the jock? Who's the homecoming queen? I mean, to step away from that, was that something that you just decided one day, you know what, I've had enough? Or was it like more of a series of small realizations?
So my whole freshman year of college, I would say after high school, I knew that I mean, from a very young age, I knew that I didn't fit in. And going to my first freshman year of college, I was on the rowing team. That was not for me. I kept getting all these roadblocks with the sorority, with the rowing team. I would get sick all the time. I would Uber home at 2 a.m. because I literally couldn't breathe and couldn't sleep. I would get so sick. And I knew that that just wasn't just because it was just happening, but I knew that I
Yeah,
wasn't in the place that I was supposed to be. So I took that upon myself. I wasn't afraid of what people thought about me. And I decided to create the life of my dreams and to create the life that I want because why would you stick around and do this, go through the motions of what everyone else is doing just because it's cool or like you said, just because it's popular? But why
yeah,
would you do that when you can literally create the life of your own dreams at 19, 20 years old? And that's
yeah.
exactly what I'm doing right now.
Okay, but most young women, most young men even don't think like that. They might say that because no one wants to be a pleaser rather than a leader. But
Yeah, of course.
you watch what they actually do, and
Mhm.
their actions don't map to what's coming out of their mouth. So how did you get to the point where you're, let's say, confident enough, where you're more concerned about no doing what's right for me versus what everyone else thinks? Because also social media is like a giant echo chamber. It's almost like everyone will do anything to be famous. You made a
Of
decision
course.
to step away from that at like 19. It's very young. So how did you manage to do that?
Um, it was honestly very hard at first. I was very concerned about what people thought. I was afraid to see what my friends were going to think about me, but I honestly think that because I have such good parents who instilled in me that it's you don't need to be able to change yourself in order to fit in. And I
Yeah.
was never really concerned growing up about fitting in. I just knew that I didn't, and that was okay.
Mm.
And I found friends that were like me as well. And I was so grateful that I was able to do that. But just the idea of kind of changing the way I did rewire my brain, and it really was after I walked off the stage after my Miss All American
Yeah.
pageant. I realized my goals, my whole entire vision of what I wanted for my future. I finally saw that. And I think we had our first call. When was that? How many? A few months ago?
Maybe 3 months ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I think after our first chat together, you really helped me see and helped me do those final pieces that put me in who I am, put me at the place that I am today. And you were like actually the biggest blessing that I've had in probably this past year, just because you helped me transform this life that I felt like I was stuck in. And I felt like I was in the same path where I just kept going and going and going. But you helped me see it in a whole other perspective. And not only you helped with my pageant stuff in my interview, but you really helped me on my personal level in my life and figuring it all out. And I don't think I would be on the path I am today without you and your guidance. So you are, my whole family appreciates you so much for the help that you have given my sister and I.
Well, that you're very welcome. I feel like I know your family, but I've never met your dad. Is the thing. Your dad's always
Yeah.
been the one in the background. So I think at some point I need to speak to your dad.
Mhm.
Let me ask you this. So what you've just laid out in terms of who you are, it seems like a lot of it you give thanks to your parents for helping to instill that in you, if I'm reading this correctly. Now,
Mhm.
I've worked with a lot of young women over the years, not just as a pageant coach. I was a tennis coach long before pageants. I was tutoring in schools and things like that. And I always wondered how come some parents had these daughters who were young, dynamic, independent, and then you had other ones who were hyper neurotic and only interested in having the latest iPhone and the latest car. You know, turn 18 and you get a six-figure car. And I was like, in your estimation, what do you think makes a good parent? Like, if you were to have kids of your own one day, what are some of the values you would want to instill into your son or daughter?
Mhm. So, well, some of the values that I have and what my mom has taught me is obviously my family and my faith and my health and my honesty, my loyalty. Those always come first. And those have been in the back of my brain, making every single decision in my life ever since my mom told me about having
Yeah.
values and instilled that in my brain. And just having this in the back of my head and having that kind of steering in my brain, I've been able to make different decisions, like I said. So when I have kids, hopefully a little girl that will be able to compete in pageants like me. I won't force her, but I'll tell her she needs to, but I won't tell her she has to. But I just want to make sure that they have that kind of the core values in their brain, have that
Yeah.
kind of direction where they know that they can have that in their head whenever they make a decision, so they make sure that it aligns with them. And I like you said, like, a lot of parents are not on the same page with
Mm.
not on the same page with my parents and how they raised me, and I'm just so grateful that, I picked my parents when I was in heaven when I was born, and, I literally wouldn't want it any other way. Just the way they've raised me is something that, I know they're watching right now, that they should be, like, so proud of themselves, the way they raised me, because, I mean, not a lot of kids are like me, and that's the whole part of my platform, is kind of being the
Mm.
1%, being the difference, and I hope to be that same kind of parent for my kids when I'm old enough, and, being their best friend like my parents are to me.
Paige, there is 0% chance that if you have a daughter that she's not doing pageants. I'm just calling that now, right? I mean,
I'd be like,
you'll probably still be
"Okay."
turning up to you'll be turning up to all the pageants, probably wearing your sashes from yesteryear with your crown and looking
No,
glam. Of course,
that's
your daughter's
embarrassing.
going to. There's 0% chance if you have a daughter, she's not
I
doing
hope so.
pageants.
Yeah, my mom would be there too with me, and she'd be like the pageant grandma. That's it's
Tell
crazy.
me, we discussed turning the page, and for reference,
Mhm,
it's turning the page, page spelt like your name,
mhm.
because
Yes.
that's how we
If you
roll,
didn't get the
right?
joke.
Yeah. What if you were to take that out, let's say a year from now? I don't want to think longer than that because at your age, it's impossible. At anyone's age, it's impossible to know what the world's going to
Mhm,
look like in 5 to 10 years' time. What would be your ultimate, like an event or a product or something that you'd love to do? So you want to help young women like yourself who know they're different. So we've got think different, be different, act different. What what dream event would you like to run?
mhm. So, I would love to be able to host a retreat. It's kind of, like, inspired by Tony Robbins, but I would wanna have so many people who are like-minded like me fly out, who are young adults and college kids and teens. I want them to fly out and we have a week-long retreat where everyone comes together and there are speakers. I would love to speak, I love speaking, and just everyone sharing their stories. And I think that if you bring together so many like minded people, that is so inspirational and that can really change the lives of not only the people around you, but so many people who are watching this happen. My ultimate goal is to not only change the lives of the people who are like minded like me, but also the future generation of people who are coming up to my age and who are can make that decision, who can step out of the social norm, who can make that conscious decision of not wanting to be a pleaser but be a leader. I would love to be able to teach these kids and teach everyone else around me who's already like-minded to build up those people and empower them that they can think different, be different, and act different.
Nice. Um, Miss All American is not too far away, if I'm
I
correct, if I'm
know.
remembering correctly. How are you feeling close to the date? Are we excited? Are we nervous? Are we a bit of both?
I think we're ready. I've been preparing for a year, and ever since I stepped off the stage, I haven't stopped. And Um, I think that, I mean, whatever's meant for me will not pass me by. I've always said
Mhm.
that since I was little and doing pageants. So I know that when the timing's right, God will make it happen. And if this is for me, then it will happen. And I know that I put in the work. I'm never shy to hard work. I don't think you could ever work hard enough for something, actually, which sounds a little like maybe toxic, but I think it's great. It's a greatest strength, but, I've just worked so hard, and I am not only, like, going there ready to compete, but I'm there ready to reign. I'm ready there to take the title. I already have a written plan, and I'm ready to step foot the day after that pageant. I'm not only preparing for the crown, but I'm preparing for the year after.
Paint us a picture of the rain. because this is where it gets interesting. Because it's one of the favorite questions us judges. Maybe your dad will ask this one day if you're watching. Mr. Gunner, one of the best questions is, what are you planning to do if we pick you, right? So if the judges pick you and everything goes your way, God willing, paint us a picture for the 12 months of your reign.
Of course. So first I'd celebrate because it has been a long time coming. Long time coming. I'd celebrate with some good in and out. That's what I've been craving after I've been on this hard workout journey for ever since I stepped off the stage. I would want some in and out. But after I celebrate, I would love to hit the floor and hit the ground running. I don't want to keep the crown on display and let it collect dust, but really put it into
Mm.
action. My dream, as I said, was to host a retreat. I hope to bring
Yeah.
girls from all the different states that compete,
Oh, yeah.
bring them together and create that retreat. I'd also like to take my one-on-one coaching mentorship calls and not only have them with people in California, but do them in person with people all over the country. I've already been able to reach thousands with my message, and I know that if I was able to go across the country and instill the empowerment and mindfulness that you can really create the life of your dreams by changing the path that you're on, then you can really do anything. The options are limitless.
This is another silly question. It's a cultural thing. Can you tell me more about In and Out? In and Out is, because you don't have that here. That's like a burger place, right? Is that the one? Is
Yes.
that, did they have the double double, or is that something else? I forget.
Yes, double double. They have animal style. That means like I mean, I don't even know. I think it's just a bunch of sauce and everything on. I mean, I want all of it when I win. I'm going through the drive-through and I'm saying, "Give me one of everything." Everything. And I'm gonna have the burger, I'm gonna have the French fries, all of the sauce, extra sauce. Like that is what I've been craving. And yeah, I'd celebrate with In-N-Out for sure. But that is the biggest like California West Coast thing
Is it?
ever. Yes, it's like
Right.
where everyone goes after like prom and
Right.
homecoming,
Okay.
like all the high schoolers. Yeah. I mean, it's delicious. If you ever come to anywhere that has it, you have to try. It's so good.
Because the thing is, every time I go to a different state in America, I've noticed that there's a different fast food joint that they're very proud of. So when I was in Texas, my Uber driver recommended I think it was Whataburger to me. And
Hmm.
I got a Whataburger and I was very disappointed. So it was just
Oh,
really, really salty
In
and
and
greasy.
Out won't
It wasn't
disappoint
my kind
you.
of.
I promise you. In
Are
and
you
Out will
sure?
not I promise. Bet my
Okay.
bottom dollar it won't.
All right. So endorsed by the future Miss All American. Um,
There you
so
go.
when is the actual pageant?
July
Do you have
15th through 18th in Charleston, South Carolina.
July 15th and July 18th? Do you know if tickets are available yet? If people want to go down and watch? I mean, I've gotten a very good vibe from Miss All American. I think
Mhm.
it's one of the new up and coming, well, it's brand new, isn't it? New and up and coming pageants that everyone's excited about. So do you know if tickets are available so they can come down and watch you guys compete?
Yeah, I think they are. I think I saw someone post about that. So go
Nice.
watch me compete in South Carolina. Big flight from California, but make it for me.
So you're not driving down then, you're actually going to fly? Because all of you guys like to
Yeah,
drive or just, how, yeah,
no.
okay, all right.
South Carolina is like, I'm here. South Carolina is on the total other side. It's like 5 hour flight. Like, no way I'm
Okay.
driving.
All right. I mean, I just saw that Spirit Airlines went bust, I
Oh,
think like
yeah.
1 or 2 weeks ago. So I don't know. I don't know that interrupts people's flight plans. I just know people were stranded everywhere.
Geez. Yeah, I've heard about that. That's sad. A lot of people's jobs were taken, but
Yeah, it was sad. There were people literally at the desk who didn't know. They found out overnight that they'd lost their jobs. Anyway, we're not here to talk about Spirit. Let's go back to you. So we've been on for a while. Just before we move to the final 10 questions, is anyone that you want to give a shout out to for supporting you along your journey?
my sister. I think she's watching right now. She has been probably my biggest supporter. Although her and I have competed against each other several times on several different occasions, different pageants. Um, I think that she has ultimately pushed me to be my best. Just this morning, I was practicing my walks downstairs in the living room, and she walked by and she sat there, even though she had a ton of stuff and a ton of homework to do. She sat there and she watched me for like 30 minutes and helped me with my walks and made sure I was perfect. And even if we were competing against each other, we always made sure that we were pushing each other to be better. And I know that a lot of that's like tough competition competing against your sister. That's kind of scary. But her and I, we competed against each other when I won Miss California Teen USA, and she was crying on stage, so excited for me. So she's definitely my biggest support. I wouldn't be who I am today without her. I'm looking at this picture of her and I right here when we were little. But she's been she curled my hair today. She does everything for me and makes sure that she doesn't share a lot of clothes with me, which I don't appreciate because I'm always so giving. But besides that, she's probably laughing right now. Besides that, she just ultimately supports me and wants the best for me. And I think that I'm so grateful for our sister friendship, and can't wait to continue this and have our sister friendship when we have kids and have a fun aunt for them.
I was going to ask what do you think it's like to have you as an older sister, as an older sibling? And then I'm reminded that I think last week or 2 weeks ago when I last spoke to Presley, she said you guys had gone shopping and then you literally stole all her clothes.
She said that? I don't
She said
remember that.
something about I think you had posted up a photo on your gram, and I think I
Oh,
mentioned it, and she said, "Yeah, that's my clothes. Those are my clothes that we
I
just
remember that.
got."
You
So she,
commented on it. It was that one Instagram reel I made about
yeah,
the Miss All American. I made an Instagram reel wearing her clothes. I mean, they were in her closet. I just assumed that I can use them. I didn't know they were new.
okay, all right. So what do you think you're like to have as an older sister? Because all she tells me, this might be an interview answer, but she keeps saying that you keep saying that you try to get her up to go to the gym. She
Yeah.
insists that only ever happened once. So one of you is one of who's telling the truth here.
I asked her several times, like when she stopped her gym membership now and only goes to Core Power. So now I can't ask her anymore. She's probably sped up with that. But I used to ask her all the time. I was like, Presley, come to the gym. Or we're on vacation. We were in Hawaii and I
Yeah,
have to go work
yeah,
out in the hotel
yeah.
gym. And I'm like, Press, come with me. She goes, no, I want to go on a walk. No, 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 no. And it's like
Okay.
6 a.m. and I want to go to the gym in Hawaii and she doesn't want to come with me. Who would say
Yeah.
no to 6 a.m. gym in Hawaii?
Everyone apart from you, apparently. Before
Yeah.
we go to the final 10, so Lagree instructor, what is Lagree? Because you said is it like Pilates but harder? Is it completely separate? What is Lagree?
It's basically on a mega former. So it's reformer machines are more for like Pilates, and then we have the
Yeah,
mega former. It's different for Lagree, and it's basically a low impact or like no impact not cardio, but it's like strength training workout.
mm,
You do get cardio if you're doing it correctly.
yeah.
But I just got my certification, what was it, in March. So
Yeah.
now I will be able to teach super soon. So if you're watching this, sign up for my class, DM me, ask me about it, and I'm happy to let you know. But just I've loved fitness for my whole life, and I've grown up doing these classes, watching my mom do this class. I used to be like 5, watching her inside the studio doing these classes and waiting for her until she's done. But now her
All
and
right.
I do it together. And then I even decided to sign up for the teacher training in March. And I went through the teacher training, I got the certification, and now I get to put like my love for fitness and healthy lifestyle into my daily routine where I get to teach people. So I'm really excited for when I get to teach my first class. Right now, I'm just teaching like free one on ones or free small
Yeah.
group sessions. So if you want to do one of those, let me know.
Is Lagree one of those things that can look easy and effortless, but is
Yes.
actually really difficult?
The whole thing about Lagree is slow and controlled movements with continuous time under tension. So you're in these super hard movements and you have to go slow as possible, and it makes it like super hard. So the slowest you go, the hardest it is. So
Yeah.
when you're in the gym, you mostly like it's about like how fast you can like go through a rep, and you're
Yeah.
trying to like rep out like bicep curls, for example. But like when you're in Lagree, you're trying to do the bicep curl as slow as you can so that you maximize the time under tension with your muscles, if that makes sense.
Yes. Yes. I
Okay.
studied time under tension when I was going through my weightlifting phase, so I'm well aware. It sounds almost excruciating, like trying to do it as slowly as
Yes,
possible.
as slow as you can. And I mean, it's easier when you go faster in Lagree,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
harder when you go slower. So you try to go as slow as you can so you get stronger.
Hmm. Okay. Sounds like a good challenge anyway. I don't know if we have that here in Australia, but I'll have to look it up because I always wanted to try Pilates. I used to do a lot of yoga, and then I saw the reformers and I always thought they kind of looked like torture racks. So in my head, I'm going, oh, I want to try that because that looks really, really
That's
difficult and really, really
hilarious.
cool. Is it when you say mega former, so is it like a reformer but
Hmm.
bigger? Is that why it's called a mega former?
Yes. So, I mean, yeah, it's just like there's different things on the reformer that make it a mega
All right.
reformer.
Okay.
Sebastian Lagree is the he invented Lagree, and he like made a bunch of like add-ons to the reformer to create the mega reformer, and then he like introduced it, started teaching classes using the mega former, and then now Lagree is a huge thing now, and a bunch of studios use the mega former.
Cool. All right. Well, are you ready for your final 10 questions?
I think so.
Let's find out. Let's have a bit of fun to wrap up. So, number one, what is your favorite word?
You would say like. I mean, you would say I would say like because I say like a lot. But I think my favorite word is, oh, determination.
Nice. Okay. Uh, Morgan, I'm just looking at the Instagram over here. Wrote to Miss Universe that said Carl's Jr. is good too. Just saying, we have Carl's Jr. here. I don't think we have In and Out here, but we do have Carl's. She should be on your podcast too. Do you want to be on the podcast page? you, you can jump
Yes.
in with me. Now, Morgan has said you working out in Hawaii was such an iconic move. There you go. You got
Yeah, of course.
endorsement
Can't
from
miss
your
a day.
trainer. And then Road to Miss Universe, I said, is that like a mix between Tai Chi and yoga? I assume that's talking about Lagree. It's not really, is it? Because it's on the piece of equipment. So
Hmm.
yeah, it's a bit different. I was literally thinking that word determination. Well, I think it makes sense when you're talking to Paige. Okay, so that was what's your favorite word? Number two, what's your least favorite word?
Like, it's my worst enemy.
Yes, yeah. We've had history with a word like. Let's move on. Number three in life, what gets you excited? What turns you on?
My goals and my future.
What turns you off?
Laziness.
I for some reason I had this intuition you were going to say lazy people, so you were close to that laziness.
Lazy. I was gonna
All right,
say that, but I decided to change to laziness.
sounds too judgmental. Does it? Number five, what sound or noise do you love?
Ooh, but sound or noise? Um, I like the sound of my alarm going off at 6 a.m. Some people don't. A lot of people don't. I actually like it. I spring out of bed and get going, so I like the sound of my alarm.
You really are built different, aren't you? You like the sound of.
Yes.
Do you know how many people have said because the next question is what sound or noise do you hate? The number of people who've answered that with their alarm clock is pretty staggering. So, well, let's go on to that. What sound or noise do you hate?
Mm, so at work, I don't know if you know. Yeah, I think you do know, but I work at a pool,
Mhm.
and I work at a hotel, so I work at a resort pool. And when we have to move the lounge chairs around, when people want us to move lounge chairs, it makes the most awful squeaky noise across the
Oh, right. Yeah.
concrete.
Yeah.
That's the noise that I hate because when I'm having to move these heavy lounge chairs, but two, that noise is just awful. I need some like WD-40 or something. But
Like one of those squeaky kind of nails down a chalkboard type
yeah,
sound.
exactly.
Right. Okay.
Hmm.
Right. Okay. Gotcha. All right. If you could have any one superpower, what would you pick and why?
Ooh, teleportation. I'd love to be able to teleport because I think that driving somewhere or flying somewhere, like we just went to Hawaii and oh my gosh, that flight was so long, 5 hours. I just wish I could like teleport somewhere and just go somewhere really quick. Like, oh, I need a tan. Like, let's go to the highest UV, hottest place ever right now, and then I can just teleport back in like an hour. And then that would be so much easier than taking like 10-hour round trip. So,
Age 5 hours is a long flight.
yes,
Five hours is it? Do you know how long it's going to take me to fly to America in August?
12.
By 20. And
What?
that's short. That's short. To get to the UK, often door to door was 48 hours.
I'm bad
And
with geography. I'm not good at my geography maps. So
you're probably better at American geography than I am. But yeah, no, from Australia to Miami is going to take me 20 hours. That I'm not looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to
that's
getting
a
there.
long time.
Yes, 4 times as long as what you were just complaining about. Okay, well, that's an Australian thing anyway. It takes us forever to get anywhere. Number 8, what job other than your own would you most like to attempt?
My sideline reporting for the Padres. That's my goal, my
No.
dream, my
What
future.
job would you definitely not like to attempt?
Mm, like teaching, being in a classroom the rest of my life.
Final question. I lie. There's two more
Yeah,
final questions, but
I
final
know you
question.
have to.
If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
I want him to tell him he's proud of me for the hard work that I've done. And I know that I'm always living for him and everything that I do and trusting his timing and his plan that he has for me. And I hope that he says I did a good job doing it.
And final question just for you. What's your favorite movie?
Mamma Mia, because I love Greece.
Fair enough. All right. Road to Miss. Are you doing pageant things in America in August? Yeah, I'm going over for Miss USA. So I'll be in Miami in August, and I may see some of you there. Well, Paige, that's about it. Thank you so much for coming on.
Well, thank you for having me. That was so fun talking to you. I had such a great time.
I will keep you on the line for just a sec whilst I hang out with the audience. But thanks everyone for watching, and we will speak to you next time.
Bye.
Bye for now. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you're a competitive pageant girl and you're after some high performance pageant coaching, make sure to come and check us out at thepageantproject.com, where you can start your journey for free. In the meantime, follow us on all our socials at The Pageant Project. Speak to you next time.